The dog barked nonstop at the funeral until someone opened the coffin. The service had barely begun when the barking started. It was low at first. A few in the back rows turned their heads, irritated. The funeral home staff shifted nervously, but then it got louder, desperate, rhythmic. One bark. 2 seconds paused. One bark again. Everyone inside the white-paneled military chapel stiffened, including the soldiers lining the walls. Outside, in the dusty grass beyond the stained glass, the dog would not stop. Luna, a tan and black Belgian Malinois, was tied to the iron gate just beyond the front steps. Her body was tense, her ears pinned back, and her dark eyes fixed straight ahead at the building's double doors. She barked again, then whined, then barked louder. Beside her, curled in a folded fleece towel inside a cardboard produce box, was a tiny, wet, trembling black pup. It had been born this morning, a single one, small, weak, unexpected, and without its father. The father, Lieutenant Nathan Grayson, lay in a closed coffin at the front of the chapel, wrapped in a flag. His uniform, his medals, and his stillness did not match the man he was just 10 days ago. Inside the chapel, Maya, Nathan's fiancée, gripped the edge of the pew with white knuckles. She stared straight ahead, but her ears heard everything. "Ignore the dog," whispered someone behind her, but Maya couldn't, because Luna wasn't just any dog. She was Nathan's working partner, assigned to him during his second deployment. The two had been inseparable since the day Luna tackled a man with explosives strapped to his chest before Nathan even saw him. They'd survived things together that most people couldn't imagine. And yet here Luna was, outside the building, tied up, barking into the void like her life depended on it. Nathan's death hadn't made national news, but among those who served with him it was already legend. His convoy had hit an IED. When the explosion tore the lead truck apart, Nathan had jumped from his vehicle and pulled a wounded corporal from the flaming wreck. Then another, then went back a third time, for a private who didn't make it. When they pulled Nathan out, he was unconscious, bleeding from his side, and still shielding the body with his own. He never woke up. The soldiers returned home in silence. Luna came back a week later, flown separately. Nathan's mother, Evelyn, agreed to take her in. But no one realized she was pregnant, not even the base vets. Luna gave birth to the pup quietly that morning in the laundry room. Evelyn had called Maya in tears. She didn't cry. She didn't bark. She just kept licking it clean over and over like she was trying to wake up Nathan through the baby. Maya rushed over immediately. That's when Luna tried to drag the cardboard box to the front door. She wanted to go, not away, but to him. Evelyn gently tied her to the gate outside the funeral home. The pup lay beside her in the box, too weak to open its eyes. Luna stood the entire time, barking toward the chapel, toward him. Now inside the chapel, the chaplain cleared his throat. Let us bow our heads and remember the words Lieutenant Grayson lived by. But Maya couldn't take it anymore. She stood, quietly, walked down the center aisle, past rows of soldiers, past the casket, and stepped through the chapel doors. The sunlight made her squint. Luna saw her. She barked once, short, broken, and pawed at the leash. Maya crouched beside the box. The puppy twitched weakly, tiny breaths struggling in the heat. She placed a hand on Luna's head. She was trying to tell us. Evelyn had followed her outside. Her voice cracked. She wants him to see the pup. No, Maya said, looking up at the building behind them. She wants the pup to see him. Inside, not out here, not alone. The chapel doors opened again. Rachel, Nathan's sister, stepped out. Her eyes were red, but her face was clear. "Bring her in," she said softly. "Both of them." Evelyn hesitated. "Is that allowed?" Rachel nodded. "It's family." As Maya gently lifted the box, Luna whined, pulling forward, leash taut. Rachel untied her collar. The dog stayed pressed to Maya's leg the entire way up the steps. The doors opened wider, and for the first time that day, Luna stopped barking. She had been heard. The room was hushed. All eyes followed the procession. Woman, dog, pup. No one interrupted. Not the chaplain, not the honor guard, not the grieving family seated in the front pews. Maya reached the casket. She paused. Lieutenant Nathan Grayson lay beneath the flag, his body still, his medals gleaming under the chapel lights. His face was calm, almost too calm, the kind of calm that feels unearned when someone dies too young. Luna sat beside Maya, staring at the casket as if waiting for it to breathe. Then she rose. She placed both paws on the edge of the coffin and lifted herself up. The muscles in her shoulders trembled. Her ears were pinned flat. Her chest expanded with a slow breath, and she looked into the face of the man who had once saved her life more times than anyone would know. Maya gently pulled the towel back and lifted the pup. It was so light in her hand, so fragile, like it barely belonged to this world yet. She leaned toward Luna and held it out. The dog opened her mouth and carefully took the pup by the scruff. The entire chapel held its breath. With surprising grace, Luna leaned forward and placed the puppy gently on Nathan's chest just above the medals. The little body curled instinctively against the warmth of the uniform, its nose twitching. Luna stood there a moment longer, unmoving. Then she barked, a long, mournful cry, the kind of sound that breaks something in everyone who hears it. It rang through the rafters. It echoed off the stained glass. It was not noise. It was grief, pure, animal, unfiltered. It was a last cry, a last goodbye. The entire chapel wept. Evelyn covered her mouth, tears spilling freely. Rachel leaned into her husband. Maya stood frozen, her hand over her heart. And Luna! She stepped down. She lay at the base of the coffin, curled in tight, her nose resting on the step, eyes never leaving the motionless figure inside. No more barking, just stillness. A few minutes later, the vet gently lifted the pup from the casket. It whimpered, reaching for warmth, but settled into the towel again. The chaplain resumed the service, voice cracking. "Let it be known," he said softly, "that Lieutenant Grayson did not leave this world unloved, and he did not leave it alone." In the weeks that followed, Luna barely left the pup's side. Maya named her Grace, not just for survival, but for the quiet strength in her mother's final act. Grace grew slowly, her eyes opening after 9 days. She would stumble around the kitchen, always shadowed by Luna, always protected. Sometimes, at night, Luna would sit by the window, staring into the dark toward the hilltop where Nathan had been buried. She never barked again. She had said what she needed to say once, and it had reached everyone. On what would have been Nathan's 29th birthday, Maya took Grace, now big enough to walk, up the grassy path to the grave. Luna followed behind. The sun was beginning to dip, casting long shadows over the stone. Lieutenant Nathan James Grayson, 1996 to 2025. He led with courage. He loved without fear. Maya knelt and placed a small bouquet of sunflowers beneath the inscription. Grace sniffed the stone curiously, then pawed at it, confused. Luna approached slowly. She sat, and she stayed. No barking, no crying, just a mother, and the life her partner died not knowing he saved. They remained there until dusk, together, like they always had been. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.